I wait for the dawn, folded inside my coat, down here in the carving. I walk and sleep deep in the earth because society doesn't see me. I'm starting to believe they truly don't know where I am. I've escaped. It feels strange. All my life, I've been watched. The society saw me go to school, to learn to swim, to walk up the steps to attend my match banquet. They sorted my dreams. When they found my data interesting, as my official did, they alerted things that recorded my reactions. And though it was difficult watching, my family watched me too. At the end of his life, Grandfather used to sit at a window as the sun went down. I wondered then if he'd stayed awake all night and saw the sun come back up again. During one of those long, wakeful nights, did he decide that he would give me the poems? I pretend that Grandfather hasn't vanished, but instead floats above it all, and that all the things in the world to see from up high, he chooses to see one small girl curled up in a canyon. He wonders if I will wake and rise when it becomes clear that dawn is on its way after all. Did Grandfather mean for me to end up here? Are you awake? Indy asks. I never slept, I say. But even as I say it, I can't be sure it's true. For what if my imagining Grandfather was really a dream? We can't start in a few minutes, Indy said. And in the second since we first spoke to each other, the light has changed. I can already see her better. Indy chooses a good spot. Even I can tell that. The walls are not nearly as high and sheer that they've been in other places, and the old rock walls left piles of boulders parts of the way up. Still, the walls of the canyon are daunting. I haven't had much practice, just a little time we had last night before we went to sleep. Indy holds her hand in a preparatory gesture. Given me your pack. What? You're not used to climbing, Indy says evenly. I'll put your things in mine, and you can carry yours empty. It'll be easier that way. You don't want to wait to make yourself fall. Are you sure? Suddenly I feel as if Indy has a pack. She has too much. I don't want to let the tablets go. Indy looks impatient. I know what I'm doing, like you did with the plants. She frowns. Come on, you trust me on the airship. She's right. And that reminds me of something. Indy, I asked, what did you bring with you? What was it that you had me hide in the ship? Nothing, she says. Nothing? I echo, surprised. I didn't think you'd trust me unless you thought I had something to lose too, she says, grinning. But in the village you pretended to take something back from me, I said. I know, she says, not a trace of apology in her voice. I shake my head in spite of myself. I start to laugh as I slide off the pack and hand it to her. She opens it and dumps the contents, the flashlight, plant leaves, empty canteen, blue tablets into her own pack, and I suddenly feel guilty. I could have taken off with all the tablets, and she still trusted me. You should keep some of the tablets after this, I say, for yourself. Indy expression changes. Oh, she says, her voice wary. All right. She hands me back the empty pack, and I slide it over my shoulders. We climb wearing our coats, which makes us bulkier, but Indy thinks it's easier than carrying them. She slides her own pack onto her back, over her long braid that burns almost as bright as the cliffs when the sun comes up. Ready? She says. I think so, I say, looking up at the rocks. Follow me, she says. I'll talk you through it. She puts her fingers in the holes and hoists herself up. In my eagerness to follow, I knock over a small pile of rocks. They scutter and I hold tight. Don't look down, Indy says. It takes much longer to climb than it does to fall. It strikes me how much this is holding on and waiting, deciding the next move and committing to it. My fingers grip tightly into the rocks and my toes curl as much as I can. I focus on the task at hand, and somehow that means that even though I don't think of Kai, I'm completely immersed in thinking of him, because I'm being like him. The canyon walls here are reddish orange, drizzling with black. I'm not sure where the black comes from, and almost like an ocean thick with tar lapping against the sides long ago. You're doing fine, Indy tells me, as I come up to her on the ledge. Now this will be the hardest part, she says, pouting. Let me try it out first. I sit at the ledge, lean my back against the rock. My arms ache from holding on so tight. I wish the rocks would hold us, cradle us back as we cling to it. But it doesn't. I think I've got it. Andy calls down softly. When you come up here, I hear the sound of falling rocks and the fresh scraping stone. I'm on my feet. The ledge is small and balance uncertain. Indy, she dangles above me, holding onto the rocks, one of her legs hanging down near me, scraping bloody. I hear her swear softly. Are you alright? I call up. Psh, she says, her voice ragging. Push me up. Put my palms under the treads of her boots, worn from the run across the plains and the dusty sole from the canyon of the rocks. There's a terrible moment when she rests there on my hands, so heavy I know she can't find anything to grab above. Then she's gone. The weight of her boots leave my head, and the imprints are left in my palms. I'm up, she calls down. Come around to your left. I can take you up from here. Is it safe? Are you sure you're alright? It's my own fault. These rocks are softer than the ones I'm used to climbing. I put too much weight on a piece and it broke off. The scrapes on her legs blood her statement that the rock is soft. But I know what she means. Things here are different. Poisoned rivers, softened stone. You never know exactly what you're getting into. What will hold and what will give away. The second half of the climb goes more smoothly. Indy was right. The sheer part of the harvest to navigate. I clutched the edge of the rock, using only the pad of my fingers, willing my knuckles to stay bent and my feet not to slip. I wedged my arms and knees into slots running vertically up the face of the rock, using my clothes and my skin the way Indy taught me as friction to keep my body close to the wall. We're almost there, she says above me. Give me a minute to climb up. It's not bad. I try to catch my breath, pausing for the rest in the crevice of the rock does hold me here. I realize I smile, exhilarated by how high we are. Kai would love this. Maybe he's climbing too. Time for the last push to the top. I will not look down or back or anywhere, but up and forward. My empty pack shifts a little, and I waver, my fingernails digging into the stone. Hold on, wait, something light, and wait, a winged flies past me, startling me. I call myself think of the poem Kai gave me for my birthday, the one about the water. High tide in the Heron Drive when I took the road over the border. Here on the shiny shore, I feel a creature left behind after the water had pulled back from the sea, trying to climb over into some place where Kai might be. And even if he's not there, I find him. I'll go over again and again until I finally cross where he is. I pause for a moment to get my balance back, and then, in spite of myself, I look over my shoulder. The view is completely different from what Kai and I saw together on top of the hill. No horses, no houses, no city hall, no buildings. It was sand and rock and scrubby trees, but it was still something I have climbed, and once again, I feel like Kai has climbed it with me somehow. I'm almost there, I whisper to him, to Indy. I pull myself over the edge of the cliff and smile on my face, and then I look up. We're not alone. When I know now why they call it the firing. Ash everywhere, a wind sails across the carving, blowing the debris into my eyes and making them blur with water. It was just the last big fire, I tried to tell myself stick laid end to end, smoke gone in the sky. But I look at Indy's face, tell me that she sees the truth in my mind, and I know it too. The blackened figures strewn across the ground are not sticks. They are real. These are dozens of bodies on top of the carving. Indy bends down and then straightens up, holding something at charred length of rope. Most of it's good. Let's go, she says, the ash of the rope blackened in her hands. She reaches up and brushes back pieces of her red hair, floating over the breeze, and accidentally marks her face. I glanced at the people. They were markings on their skins too, blue ones, twisted lines. I wonder what they mean. Why did you come up here? How did you make this rope? What else have you learned out here while the rest of us forgot about you? Or never knew you existed at all? How long have you been dead? I ask. Long enough, Indy says. A week, maybe more. I'm not sure. There are hard edge to her voice. Whoever did this might come back. We have to leave. Out of the corner of my eye, I see movement and turn. Tall red flags set along the ridge whip fiercely in the wind. Through the stakes in the ground instead of the tie of the trees, they remind me of the red scraps Kai and I left on the hill. Who marked the land up here? Who killed all these people? The society, the enemy? Where's the rising? We all have to leave now, Cassia, Indy said behind me. No, I say, we can't leave them here. Were they the rising? This is how anomalies die, Indy says, her voice cold. The two of us alone can't change it. We have to find someone else. Maybe these people we're trying to find. I say, please, I don't let the rising be gone before we even had a chance to find it. Oh, Kai, I think. I never knew. So this is the kind of death you've seen. Indy and I run across the top of the carving and leave the bodies behind. Kai's still alive, I tell myself. He has to be. Only the sun and the sky, nothing flies. There is no angels here.